And we are back. Alright, so just fresh off of the introduction to how to set up your beat map. So now in this video, we are going to go ahead and proceed to start doing verse 1 and the first refrain of this chart. Alright, so let's hit straight right down to it. So let me give it a zoom in so we can have a good look at the lyrics. Okay, so we'll be focusing on this for this video. Alright, so let's begin the charting process. Let's hear like the first beat samples that we are hearing. So this time around, when you're starting to chart, you can turn off your metronome. So remember, in the last video I've mentioned, metronome is controlled by the letter M. So there, put it to off. So one trick that I have that actually helps me chart a lot easier is to actually have an expanded beat map. Now what does that mean? So what that means is that what I can do is that this little preview bar at the bottom right of your screen here, it can actually be expanded into something bigger. So click File, File, Display, 3D Preview, and click Full Height. Voila! So you have a giant map now that you'll be able to like read the whole beat map in a very much clearer perspective. So yes, let's get started. So this is where the Eugene's vocal entry comes in. So it starts with like a little bit of a clap, so like a snare. So just to check, by the way, we could turn on claps just to make sure that the notes are in sync as well. Okay, maybe this is tune, yeah. But yeah. So here we'll have this bass flow. Okay, so this little snare here has like a little bit of a reverb on the sound. So let's see. It's a long reverb too. So let's see. Let me see. Let's see. Yeah, this sounds very appropriate to write it this way. Alright. So next we will go on to do this little trick called adding a crazy note. So in this case, you want to have the bass on one line and then another note just to show that there is a little bit of a kick. So how do you do that? Press the letter T, make it into a crazy note, go to note, clone hero, and then disjointed, press toggle. Ta-da! And then you have this. That's how you are able to produce like one whole and one note on the same line without it being, you know, disconnected or off sync basically whatsoever. So let's put it on notes here. So this is our first beat. This one's a little longer, really. So this one I believe is a little longer than the previous one. Same trick once again. So there's a little bit of a click if you hear it carefully. You see, you hear the little yeah. Here you go. We'll just put it in. Actually, in this case, we can make it consistent with this here. Shift it here this way. So actually what you can do is that you can shift and click on a specific set of notes that you want to adjust. You can use your arrow keys down on your keyboard, shift up or shift down, like that. So this is a little different. Alright, let's see. So now what you're gonna be doing over here is that you're gonna want to sync up this entire pattern together with the vocals. Since they are the most prominent sounds that are available in this track, you want to have like a beat with the vocals since they are all aligned in the metronome itself as well. So let's see how to write this. But another trick that I could do here as well is actually make this also into a crazy note. Since this one is like a half clap, half snare, and like with a reverb on it. So might as well we give it a try. So now you see where it's coming from? It kind of is just doing things like that to make an added feel to the song. And also partly is because the vocals of Eugene actually starts right here on my note here. So let's go pull it. Crazy, yeah. So faded. So this one is there's no holes in her vocal. It's just this one. Now there's the little yeah, something like that. So let's see how we can do it. So obviously, what we'll do is we'll just do the same sample as what we were doing earlier, but this time we'll have to add the little hi-hats that are coming in to this part of the introductory verse. It's a little different this time. This one's the one that's a little. So this time it doesn't have that little. The little putum is a little different. I think this is just safe for the introduction. That's all. So we'll just do the fundamental notes first, just to mimic the earlier parts of the song. So it's more or less the same here. I think for this part, that is the beat. So that's the fixed set of beats that you'll have for this part of the song. Okay, so this part we'll leave it first, since this one is a little bit different. Alright, so let's do the fillers with the little hi-hats now. We're just gonna add the hi-hats here. So there's a hi-hat here too. Let's see. Yeah. like that. Yeah, so there you go. Oh, there's a little error here. I believe. Yeah, I think it's okay. Okay. Yeah, so this is your fundamental beat. So these are just purely the bass line and the beat first. So next step, vocal fillers. So you can see, that's one of the lyrics here. My Korean is not so good. My pronunciation is still not that great. But let's try to mouth it out as we go about this song. Big, faded. I feel like it's called faded. I think it's faded. Let me just check it. Pelu. Okay, so koto, kotone, eh? Beme, so. Sona. So Sona is on the same line here, so you will be able to see Sona. 이공존해 내 표정에 눈깜파 Okay, so we'll have to check again. So there you have it. So that is majority of the first verse right there. So now we're going to the last part of this verse. So I think this is going to be a long hold. But this time we're going to hold it all the way, not up to the end here, because there's going to be a note over here that becomes the entrance of the first refrain of Iso and Liz. So you don't want the hold to go too long, such that it becomes very difficult to reach to the next note. So therefore you leave a little spacing over there, just for reference. So we're going to apply the same trick, I believe, except it's just a longer hold. So now that we already know the rough pattern, it's going to be like this, something like this, I believe. Yes. Yeah, so sound is still there. It's very clear. The reverb is still there, except that I think it's a lot more toned down in this part of the first verse. So yeah, let's go. It's gonna feel like something like that. This time it'll be something like that. A little bit different. Oh, like yeah, there. I almost forgot that. Alright, so we'll replay that. There you have it. So this is our first verse for Gotcha. There you have it. So this time I'll do it a little bit different. instead of copying the same pattern, let's do it a little bit more loosely, whereby we focus more just on raw beat, minus negating the bass line, and focusing a little bit more on Iso and Liz's vocal sound. So let's do it. But first, I gotta deal with this little issue whereby my EOF always hangs. I hate it, but it is what it is. It happens sometimes. It's a little bit unstable on my laptop for some reason. Anyways, we're back. So we're just gonna save everything and get everything back into order. Ta-da! Alright, that's cool. Baby. Say you feel loose, yeah, no. So that's what we're gonna do. So this is a general beat. So I think we'll just do it as a general beat. Like this simple, straightforward beat. Then we will manipulate the notes accordingly. Alright, so we'll just do for one part, we'll just do for Iso's part. Let's see how we feel. Say. So you hear a little bit of the yeah, I know. Okay, so there's a little bit of a rap in this vibe over here. So we kind of can do it more loosely like this. There you go. So something like that, we can just do like a more clean beat. Keep it simple. So now we can actually do the same type of pattern, but we'll do a switch whereby the kick is gonna be here. So we're just going to do it just so that we have a little bit of a pattern variation as we try this song. So same thing, fundamental beat, just write it as like a skeleton, so that it will help us along the way easily, you know, to sync up the vocals, etc. There you go. See all the pattern. Alright, so there I have it. So we'll just play back this entire section and let's see how it looks like. Oh, you forgot the like it so much because I think of the bug. Okay, we'll replay again. Right, let's do a cleanup. Let's see if we can clean up in check here. Alright, so in that case, we will just keep it simple and leave it till here. So that's all for the first verse and refrain. So the next video, we will not jump straight into anything. We will actually go into the next verse instead. So what we're going to do here is a little bit different. Instead of going one straight way through, we'll do verse to verse first so that we can get a grasp of how the overall verses feel and whether we need to replicate patterns or we can actually do it with a total different twist. So let's find out in the next video for verse number 2 and the refrain. So yes,